Hello and welcome back to the Andy and Otto's Motorsport channel. Our last episode we did the compression and leak down test, so that's one thing ticked off the list. And the next thing to tick off the list is lock wire the front brakes. Now not everyone needs to do this, and I'm hoping that if you're watching this you're never ever going to have to worry about this, but I've got into a habit of doing it after I had a rear brake pad come out. Not particularly anyone's fault, just a poorly designed system from the factory. Where you got the caliper and the disc, the rear brake pads go in, and there's a not quite 90-degree bar that slots in so that the pad can't come out, but it's held in with two R-clips. And racing and bouncing over curbs, R-clip exit stage left, the bar vibrated out, and the second I hit the brakes the pad just flipped out. Yeah, that was fun. Obviously going into a corner and you have got a foot full of nothing, because the pad thickness is taken up by the piston coming out, and yeah, that was fun. Luckily enough I didn't end up in the wall, because I've retained the split braking system, so front right, left rear, left front, right rear. So I still had two brakes that worked and applied pressure, even though it was of a lesser amount of pressure. But it kept me out the wall, and I think it actually even kept me out the gravel trap. But since then, I've lock wired all the brakes. Obviously I've not lock wired the pad as such, but the retainers that keep the pad in I've lock wired. So that's why I do it. It's kind of got into a habit of doing it, and I didn't do it because I changed brakes between the first race and second race, and manic. I ran out of time. Had an oil leg, ended up taking the oil cooler off, so I took the oil cooler off and changed the brakes, and yeah, I was running late as it was. So let's crack on. Let's get these front pads wired, and you can see what I mean when we get into it. But it's a really simple job. It's a precaution, and I hope no one ever has to experience brake pads disappearing, but I have. It wasn't nice, and this is why I do it. So let's crack on. Now I've got the car up in the air, it's easier to see. These are the standard little R-clips. Not all that great, I'll grab a light. As you can see, they do have multiple holes. There is another hole there, one there, one there. Now, what I normally do, because this is designed to slide through this hole and this hole, just run a small bit of lock wire. Really easy to do. That's it, can't see a thing. I know there's a spot around here somewhere for the light. There we go. Just run lock wire, you know, the slider can move, it's not going to bind up on the pad. You don't want this to interfere with anything else, so because I've got the pin there and a hole there, when the pad wears, the slider can come in, but the pad is always going to stay the same thickness, and this distance is always going to stay the same. And to be honest, the more I'm looking at it, I think I'm going to change it. I'm going to put the R-clip that side, and I'm going to lock wire the inside. Yep, I prefer that idea. So let me get you set up and you can see how bad my lock wiring is. Now there is a skill to this. Got the wire between the two holes, sort of double it and add a bit, cut it off. Now this isn't solder. You can't break this like you can solder. This is just like really thin wire. Now, I'm not going to profess to be a good lock wire wirer, but I don't think I do a bad job. Now, all I've done is met the ends, folded it in half, and to start with, do the first turn, keeping it tight by hand. So you end up with something that looks like that. Now get them straight and bust out lock wire pliers. They've got a thing on the bottom that twists. So as you clamp these together, go for about there. If I move that back, you might be able to see. Now, as you push these together and drop that down, they're now locked. And it is as simple as pull this, pull this little button on the bottom, and the pliers rotate for you. That's it. Job done. So if I move you back in, you can see nice even twists. I don't know how many there should be per inch. There is a guide. See, I'd gone one too many. So what I'm going to do is I've got my twists between the top and bottom. Grab this, poke this through the hole in the bottom, drag it through. There we go. And basically do the same again. Start, turn by hand. And to be honest, I'm not even going to use the tool for the bottom bit. 3 turns. Cut tabs off. Bend the spare bit up and make sure that this is out the way. Now, the point I was making earlier, if these pair of pins, well, there you go, there's the top one. Even if I lost the R-clip, the bar can't come out. It's physically not possible. It fails against the pad. And there is enough material this side of the pin that even dragging it all the way back still stays in the caliper. So it's just a safety precaution. Doesn't make you go faster. It's not going to make you brake later. It's just there in case these R-clips come out. There's that bit of lock wire holding it. It's that simple. I'm going to go and do the same to the other side. Yeah, I'll bring you along. Now this is the pins without the R-clips. As you can see, you've got a hole there, big gap, 2 smaller holes. The 2 smaller holes are for how thick this back plate section is. So if you've got a thicker back plate, you'll go to the further hole away. If you've got a thinner back plate, you can use the smaller one. Just slides right in. Make sure that they're not seized. Nice and easy. Drop the R-clip in. And repeat. So we can take the smaller back plate hole, there we go. Just start it by hand. That's it. Go down to about where you want it to end with the pliers. And simply pull the lever. So you're happy with the amount of turns. The more turns you put on it, the more likely you are to break this. If you break it, don't worry, start again. Thread that through there. Make sure you pull it tight. It's in securely. And for the bottom bit, put the pliers on it if you want. If you want it to look special. There you go. That's simple. Cut off after about 3 turns. Fold it back over. Pull this section out. That's it. Job done. Brakes lock wired. Straighten that back up. Job done. Covered. So, there you have it. A couple of really simple steps. For me and my brake system, it may very well be the same for you if you've got Brembos or high specs or APs or Alcons, anything with pistons either side and those 2 retaining bars. You might be able to do it. If you've got a standard single piston sliding caliper, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have these bars and it's not going to be a problem. So that's just a little safety thing. But it's done now and I'm not going to have to worry about that until next time I change the brakes, which I hope won't be too soon because they're brand new. But thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, please leave a like, and if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you very much. Ciao.